Hey everyone, welcome back to Walt and Sarah's channel. Today I'm going to be sublimating on a 30-ounce tumbler cup here. I am so excited because I've never sublimated on a cup so large, but I'm going to show you my method to get this done. I prefer to use my iPad when I'm doing sublimation prints because it's already synced up to my Epson printer, which is I've already been converted to a sublimation printer. I do have videos available for that if you're interested. Now I am also using Procreate, so I'm just importing my image, which is this baseball little mom design. Now this one can go either way. We don't really have to mirror it. But when you're doing sublimation, you do have to mirror your image. So if you're using something that can't go both ways, because obviously, mom, if you flip it left or right, you're still going to be able to read it. So this one doesn't necessarily have to be flipped. You can see it looks the same no matter which way it is. But I'm just kind of showing you guys how to flip it in case you have an image that needs to be done. So yes, you must mirror your sublimation images. So I have it saved. I'm going into my Epson settings here. I'm going to locate the image, and I'm just hiding some files here because my kids like the color, and I have all different designs that I've done for people, and some of them are paid, so I want to make sure that they, keep their privacy. But same thing, you're just importing it here into your printer setting, into your printer option, and then we're going to print it. I'm going to share with you my printer settings so you can see how I have that set up. We're going to zoom in a little bit here. Hopefully you guys can see that clear. Print quality is high. The rest of the settings are pretty much just standard. I just leave it the same. And this is what it looks like once it's printed. Bear in mind with sublimation prints, they do look somewhat faded until that heat hits the ink, and then it will appear darker. Now, I did want to mention earlier that little silver circle down at the bottom, typically I peel them off. This one I had trouble getting it off, so I decided to just leave it on there and give it a whirl. Now also with this, my paper does not reach the very top, plus I was worried about there being lines or gaps, so what I'm doing is leaving that top space white. So I will not have any image at the very top there, and I'm okay with that. I'm leaving it like that intentionally. However, there is this overlap going around the cup. So I am marking, and it's approximately a centimeter. I am marking where I have to cut. And this is disappearing ink that I use for my sewing and embroidery projects. So I'm using that on this, hoping that it doesn't stick to the paper and actually sublimate onto the cup. Spoiler alert, it does not. But I did mark where I need to trim down this little bit of an edge. Now that it is cut down, we're going to throw this little piece away. We are going to tape our image onto our cup. Once it is taped down, we can wrap it, throw it in the heat press, and add on our heat, and then it's all done. It really doesn't take a lot of time. Once you get used to doing these, you can knock them out in 10-15 minutes. So they're a great little side hustle, little project that you can do once you get your sublimation printer up and running. These cups are so cool because they hold the ink so well. So I will have lots of links in the description so you guys can just go ahead and check them out. Plus YouTube added that awesome shopping feature, so they should just pop up and you guys should be able to go ahead and click where to buy. Any of the products that you're seeing in the videos should be easy to locate, so you can quickly check them out. Also guys, if you don't mind, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up because it truly does help me out. Now I will also be putting this in shrink wrap, so I'm not going to go super crazy with the tape. I don't want the blue lines there. If you are able to get heat resistant clear tape, I highly recommend using that rather than the blue or the yellow, because I've had them stain my cups in the past. So I highly recommend finding the clear heat resistant tape. And you guys will notice there's a lot of overflow here at the bottom. So rather than trim it down and try to measure it up perfectly, I'm just going to fold it down and I'm going to sublimate it just as it is. Now these cups are so awesome because they come with a rubber base, and I'm going to add that down at the end, and that will cover up the mess that I kind of left there on the bottom. So I'm not going to worry about that. Everything's going to be fine. It's going to work out in the end. Now I am so strict with trying to protect my heat press. I don't want any ink to get into the Cricut press and then it's ruined. So what I do is I don't even pre-shrink the shrink wrap. I allow the heat press to shrink it for me. I've never had an issue. So I don't even pull out the heat gun anymore. I just put it on there, and then as soon as that heat hits it, it begins to shrink. So I skip the whole heat gun step. And I've used butcher paper to wrap around my shrink wrap because I do not want that shrink wrap to hit any of my heating elements and then ruin my Cricut heat press. These things are too expensive to be putting plastic on them. Since this is a 30-ounce tumbler, which is pretty big, I did have to do some moving around. You're going to see me twist the tumbler multiple times because you have that gap and that opening there. So we had to do one side, twist it, press it again, flip it around, press it, twist it, press it again. So we're doing 4 total presses. That little lever is going up and down 4 times. Now, because the tumbler is so big, it left a little bit of a gap in the center. I think it looks fine. I'm okay with it. If you're not okay with that little bit in the center there, you're going to want to use a different heat press or try to hit the center up with something else. But overall, guys, considering I used the Cricut mug press for this and it was a big water jug tumbler, I think it turned out pretty darn good. I'm pretty impressed with this cup. I think it holds the ink very well. I love the colors and how they pop. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe. I have other sublimation videos available. You can check out my website, rosegoldretail.com, and I will see y'all in the next one. Thank you.